Alright YouTube, I'm coming at you with another video, another sports video, and let's get started. So I decided to be a little bit more organized than the last video, so I wrote down things throughout the week, and that's pretty much it. So Houston versus OKC, that was a Monday game. OKC won, so they have the 3-0 series lead, so if it's a potential, second round playoff matchup, they have the home court advantage, and I don't think Houston is a good enough road team to overcome that. So if that were ever to happen, I think OKC would probably take that series. And Durant had 42 points with 12 of 22 field goals, so he's shooting over 50%, and he just makes it look real easy. You know, he's so good, and he doesn't have to like attack the basket all the time. He just somehow, a quarter he'll go off, 10 points here, 15-point quarter, and then boom, it's there. Because sometimes I feel whenever he scores that much, he has like stagnant quarters where he doesn't score, or he's not a factor, but somehow he always comes in the clutch. So that's that. And then the Spurs versus Bulls game on Tuesday, the Spurs smacked up the Bulls at home. I think the Bulls were at home, and the Spurs were up 30 at half. I think that's insane. The Spurs are always gonna be good because they have a great coach. They got veterans like Duncan, Ginobili, and then they got some good young stars like Danny Green and Kawhi Leonard. So they should have won it last year, but they're going to make a strong push again this year, I think. And then Parker had 20 points, 9 assists. So, Parker's he's one of the top 5 point guards in the league. I think he's overlooked. So, I mean, these West matchups coming up right here. Grizzlies beat Portland. Gasol and Zebo, they're a deadly duo. They're probably the best, bigs in the league. In one team, they're probably the most cohesive of any team in the NBA. Yeah, I mean, you have Kevin Love and Pekovic, but Love carries majority of it. You have Noah and Boozer. That's another great duo too. But it's those guys, man. They're so good. They're so good. They had 21 rebounds that game together, 37 points, and 11 assists. Those are great numbers. Great numbers. And somehow, I don't know, they're not playing that well. I think Rudy Gay, when he left, they lost a lot of, I would say, one-on-one, because he can take his man off the dribble and, create mismatch. But now they don't have him. So, they kind of get stagnant with the ball. They don't have that many players to bail them out if they face a good defensive team. Because they always won with defense. The Grizzlies are gritty and they're tough. Lillard had 32 points that game, 7 assists and 4 rebounds. Aldridge, 19 points, 10 rebounds. So it was a close game. It was a very good, interesting game to tune into, and I really enjoyed that. Bynum returns to the Pacers. He had 8 points, 10 rebounds. So Bynum's a better center than Hibbert. So, that's if Bynum's healthy, and that's the issue. Roy Hibbert, he's a great defensive player, but offensive, he can still work on it, which he's proven that he's willing to do. And the Pacers got a great team, and with Bynum, I mean, if they can get him to play 75% of his talent, I think they'd be unstoppable. I don't know how it would work with both of them on the floor. That's kind of tough because Bynum demands the ball a lot. And we'll see, because Paul George too, that's a stacked team. That's scary if they can get that somehow going. Oh man, Phil Jackson goes to the Knicks. That's tough. I mean, we should have. I hope the Lakers could have got him, but it's kind of out of the picture with Mike Antony because he has no D. He gets me angry sometimes. I mean, as long as we get a draft pick now, I mean, come back next year real strong, um, and make a championship push because Kobe's years are limited, and I don't know how much longer he can carry us. So we'll see when hopefully everyone, the whole squad gets healthy, and we can make a push. But Phil Jackson to the Knicks. The Knicks are locked up with salary. They got to pay Amari Stoudemire a lot of money. The coach, they need a new coach if they want to reach a championship level. What else? Melo. If that's one of their moves to try to keep Melo, that's gonna be if Melo wants to stay because the team's not that great, and I don't know if Phil Jackson can be the savior and somehow revitalize the team and make them championship caliber. But we'll see how that turns out. I mean, hopefully Phil could turn it around. He brought LA championships, and I can only love him for that. And then Golden State versus the Clippers. Blake Griffin is a monster right now. He is tearing it up. 30 points, 15 rebounds that game. Clippers won that game, right? Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. They won that one, so Clippers number one in the power rankings. I don't know how they could do that when the Spurs are, again, the best record in the West, and I don't think the league. I think the Pacers still have the best record in the league, but I'm not sure on that one. But I don't know how the Spurs aren't number one again. They're probably always overlooked. But the Clippers are playing great basketball right now. And once they get JJ Redick back, their bench is going to be real solid, real solid. And we'll see how that turns out. If Clippers can't, if the Lakers, obviously, not making the playoff, but I love Chris Paul. He's my second favorite player next to Kobe. So he deserves a ring. He really deserves a ring. And I hope he gets it. And Blake Griffin's helping him. Those two guys, they could bring LA Clippers a championship for sure. That's for sure. Spurs beat Trailblazers Spurs are on a roll right now. That was their 8th straight win. I think there's a Thursday game. This is the Thursday game, I think. And then, so that's that. And then OKC and the Bulls play today. So we'll see how that turns out. I'm very curious. Joakim Noah can play a huge role in that game and see if he can shut down, points in the paint as he always does. But he's going to need some help offensively because KD, again, is playing out of his mind. This is his year to win MVP for sure. For sure. Football. Big week in football. Revis Island is in New England. Now, that's a huge pickup because Revis Island, if that's in New England, that's just another huge asset to the Patriots because their offense is insane with Brady. And Gronk's going to be healthy, and they have an extra. Now, here's the thing. If they kept Talib and they had Revis, now that would be a major asset. But since Talib is in Denver now, it kind of just replaces, Revis just replaces Talib. So they have, another shutdown corner. You know what I mean? Now, if they had both of those guys, it would change the face of the defense. It would be hard to score on, at will. Like, Revis and Talib will stop anybody, pretty much. Calvin Johnson, he might still get his numbers, maybe a touchdown catch, but he's not going to max 110 yards catching. It's a huge pickup for Brady. It's just unfortunate that he just replaced Talib. Because I would guarantee a Super Bowl if both of them, if Talib and Revis played together. That's a Super Bowl. With Brady, unstoppable. Now, DeMarcus Ware went to Denver. Denver's had a real good week because now they have Von Miller and they have DeMarcus Ware, and that's a solid defense right there. And they picked up Talib. They lost Bailey, but Talib is going to be a huge bonus. Huge bonus for them. And then because they couldn't stop other teams from scoring. So hopefully they could put pressure to the quarterbacks, and we'll see how that turns out. Because if Payne couldn't score, then Denver was bound to lose. Decker left the Denver Broncos this week, and he went to the Jets. Of course, it's probably money because the Jets are nowhere close to a championship team. So that's unfortunate. It kind of bugs me when people just chase after money when you have a great team and you just lost the Super Bowl, and now you go to a team where they might not make the playoffs, and I don't see how money can justify that move because I hate losing. I really hate losing. So it wouldn't make sense for me to try and go somewhere and make more money when I know I'm going to lose more than 50% of my games. That's not how it is for me. So we'll see how that turns out. I don't think he'd be anywhere close without Manning, because Manning makes everyone better around him. Darren Sproles, I don't know what's up with him. They said he got mad because they were gonna release him. If they released him, I'm not sure about that one. So maybe I'll touch up on that one. Nets beat the Heat. Nets are coming into form, They match up well against Miami. They got KG, Pierce. Pierce lit them up. They got Joe Johnson, and Jaren Williams. So they match up pretty well with them. Now, a 7-game series, I don't see them winning that series if they played the Heat. I would have to see the Nets play a little bit more and see how good they play together. KG's a winner, Pierce is a winner. So, and then they have Brook Lopez too to mismatch Chris Bosh, because Bosh can't handle Brook Lopez down in the paint. No way. So we'll see how the Nets can, because that's probably going to be a matchup in the second round, Nets and the Heat. We'll see how that turns out. The Heat, they kind of dropped the ball a little bit, and then they picked it back up, and they beat the Rockets yesterday. So, hopefully, the Heat are going to do what they do, There's only 3 teams in contention in the East, so all they have to do is win their games. If they catch Indiana, then they catch Indiana, which would be nice, but it's not something, I'd rather go to the playoffs and have a full squad, healthy squad, than to exhaust yourself trying to catch Indiana, and let's say you don't catch them and you're burned out, because there's only 13 games left before playoffs, so we'll see. Yeah, we'll see how that turns out, but I think the Heat are in decent shape. Nothing to worry about. There's no panic mode for them. I think they'll lose to Indiana this year for sure. There's no way they're going to if they go to the championship this year. That's unbelievable. That's crazy. They deserve it. 4 straight years being the best team in the NBA. That's tough to do. Chicago and the Rockets. Chicago beat the Rockets. The Rockets look like they're dropping the ball a little bit after that hot start, after the All-Star break. They were playing real good basketball as of last week, and then I think they're below 500 this week with their games, or 2-2. So I don't think they're that good of a team. Harden Harden gets to the free throw line all the time. Howard, you can't rely on Howard. Howard has no post move. If he can't elbow you out of the way, then there's no chance. He's gonna be an offensive threat. Now defensively, yeah, he can shut a lot of people down. Shot blocking ability, you know. He jumps high too, so that teardrop is might not work with Howard. And then what else do we have? March Madness. So I said Tuesday I'm gonna fill out my bracket. The bracket was released. So I'll do a video tomorrow with the bracket and a couple of cousins, you know, whatever, a group or whatever. So we'll see how that ends up tomorrow. For sure, that's a video. I looked at the bracket a little bit. Florida's the number 1 seed. Louisville's the number 4 seed. Kentucky's 8, I think. Duke's 4. Wichita State. They have a tough. They got a tough schedule if they continue winning. They got Duke, I think. Then they gotta get past Creighton, I think. It's crazy. To go undefeated, and then they get put in that kind of bracket. You know, that's unfortunate. Even though that's basketball. It has to happen, but I don't see them going Final Four after that. They have a tough bracket. I don't see them going Final Four at all. Arizona is number 1 too. Just remember that. So we'll see how that turns out there. I think that's the East region. So that's that for this week. Video tomorrow, March Madness bracket. I'll show you who I pick, and I remember last year I looked all into it, and I got so involved in each team that I didn't do too well. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at the bracket, I'm gonna look at the team, and I'm like, okay, I feel like they'll win. I'm not gonna overthink it, so I'm just gonna click. What maybe one good reason why I picked them. So because I noticed that it's always like that. Like people who don't really analyze basketball or anything of that nature, they just pick the team, you know, with the nicest uniform, and they win that game. So that's gonna be interesting. You know, I'm looking forward to it. Game's Thursday. First game's Thursday, so I'm excited. I'm pumped. March Madness is just unbelievably fun. So that's that week. This week, next week, I might have a guest come on for this segment. But other than that, peace.